Well, U.S. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton has been heckled while speaking at George Washington University in Washington, D.C.
Was cut off, TV satellite signals were jammed, and internet access was blocked for nearly the entire country.
So this is America.
The government
This is America. Who are you?
Well, Clinton was speaking in support of internet freedom when a heckler interrupted her. The protester was apparently trying to hold up a sign, but security forces took and dragged him out of the room. Clinton took the interruption in stride as the heckler was taken away, and she carried on with her prepared remarks. Now, the heckler in question is former CIA analyst Ray McGovern, and he is joining us now on the line from Washington. Mr. McGovern, as always, many thanks for joining us here on Press TV. We have shown YouTube video of what happened, but give us your own account of exactly what happened during and after the speech at Hillary Clinton's.
Well, let me just start out by saying your lead-in indicates that you're relying on Fox News, which is a notoriously unreliable source. There was no heckler. I was the person there. I said not a word. I stood silently with my back to the secretary, lest she get the idea that everyone in that whole auditorium agreed with her warmongering policies. I was standing silently, and I was jumped on by a man in a regular suit and then another person in a police uniform. I still don't know who jumped me, but I was taken outside where nobody was watching. I was manhandled. I have welts and cuts and contusions and lacerations all over my body. And the important thing is that I wasn't heckling anyone. I was completely silent. And so I was taken completely by surprise, and by the time I realized what was happening to me, I had a chance to yell, "So, this is what America has become." And then I turned to the people that were throwing me out of this auditorium, and I said, "Who are you?" And the odd thing is that to this day, I don't know who they were. But luckily, there are photos on the internet. We'll be able to find out who ordered that 220-pound muscular man who manhandled me, who ordered him to do that to a peaceful person not making a sound. And the beauty of it, of course, is there were 18 video cameras and many still cameras that captured exactly what I was doing and what I was not doing. And I'll just finish up again by saying, please don't trust Fox News. There was no heckler.
Right, Mr. McGovern, what happened after they dragged you out? From what we understand, you were put in jail and you were left bleeding for quite a while. And also, please elaborate for our viewers, what was the stance that you were trying to make?
Well, the stance that I was making is that Hillary Clinton is a person who has been an admirer of every war she's heard of. She was a great supporter of the Iraq War, even though she knew better because I told her what a catastrophe it would be. She's a great supporter of the Afghanistan War, where many thousands of people have met their deaths. And she's in the forefront of agitating for war on Iran. And that comes through in her speech here. I was amazed after I was released from prison and was able to go to the hospital and get my wounds bound. This is still bleeding here. I ruined another pair of pants. I read the speech, and it was quite remarkable. It was a speech about protests. And she is saying here in this speech, and I'll just quote 2 or 3 sentences here. She says, Iran this week, this is a direct quote, Iran this week is once again using violence against protesters seeking basic freedoms. Okay? People protest. They stand and they march and chant, and the authorities track them and block them and arrest them. Now, she is saying this 3 paragraphs after she stood silently watching me in the 4th row being pounced upon by these goons and unceremoniously ejected from the auditorium. There was something Kafkaesque about this. And lest anyone misunderstand, she finishes with this sentence. Iran is her favorite bugaboo, as you know. Quote, Iran is awful because it is a government that routinely violates the rights of its people. And here I am being thrown out, bleeding profusely from these wounds that you can see here, and thrown in prison without any medical attention, kept there for 3.5 hours, and it was myself that had to take a taxi cab to the hospital to get my wounds attended to, my wrists x-rayed to see what damage had been done. Now, fortunately, I am going to survive, but I'm thinking about people who are less able to defend themselves. Not that I tried to defend myself, but less able to contend with this kind of violence. And for Hillary Clinton to be talking about peaceful means of protest in the same speech at which she blithely continued as she watched me directly in front of her being pounced upon and violated, was a little too much to take.
Indeed. Now, this was very different from how Rumsfeld reacted when you peacefully confronted him as well. What do you say to that? And also, can you elaborate on the U.S.'s double stance as far as the ongoings in the Middle East these days, Bahrain, Yemen, etc.?
Well, I think you've said it all when you say double stance. We're very much in favor of protest when it seems to be succeeding, except in our country. We like to keep the lid on. But what happened, of course, was that I was arrested, and I'm charged. I have to go to court. They said that I was guilty of bad behavior, unruly conduct. So there's a law against that, and I'm smiling now because there were about 16 cameras there, and there was indeed unlawful conduct, but it wasn't I who was doing the unlawful conduct. It was those two goons, and the main question is, who told them? Who told them to violate me? Who told them to give me this kind of treatment? We're going to find that out.
We hope that you do, but from what I understand, the veterans group, of which you're also a part of, has demanded an apology from the office of Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. Have you gotten any response from them?
Well, we're not holding our breath. You see, when you're the sole remaining superpower in the world, you don't need to apologize for anything. I will give you $5 if I get an apology from Hillary Clinton.
Right, we're going to have to leave it there. That was Ray McGovern, former CIA analyst as well as a U.S. war veteran, speaking to us from Washington. Many thanks indeed, sir, for your comments here on Press TV, as always, and we hope for best of your success and everything in the future. Thank you, sir.